No more deceit. Just be truthful and admit the truth. And this brother, in Enrico, call on in. We're waiting. And while you're waiting, any other lying preacher that want to come in and prove that Christ, in fact, is not the Antichrist, call in. We'll give you a chance. But right now, I'm going to talk a little bit to my brother Ishaya out of Raleigh, North Carolina. But I want to acknowledge a couple of callers from out of town before I go to him. I want to acknowledge brother Don out of North Carolina. Brother Don, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine, Brother Elesha. How you doing?
This program is too great. I won't be able to finish it tonight because there's too many things to bring out who the Antichrist is, and I don't want to rush this subject. So I'm going to just talk to the people the rest of the night.
Well, so far you've done a beautiful job, and I especially like when you brought out Isaiah, the 14th chapter. And to further validate what you're saying, if you look at the 14th chapter of Isaiah, the 19th verse, and it talks about this Lucifer being thrust through with the sword.
Mm-hmm.
And according to the New Testament, the deity of the New Testament was also thrust through with the sword.
Yes, and then again, Satan is just a spirit. Nobody can put a sword through Satan.
Exactly right.
But this man, Lucifer, is a man that got children that will die and be slaughtered on this earth for the corruption and lies and deceit that he has spread. He's the one that broke Christ and got our people worshiping one of our beautiful black brothers.
Well,
Christ was another, JC was another Israelite brother, beautiful, red eyes, black skin, nappy hair, and now this empire got the people worshiping him instead of the Most High. And that's an abomination.
But you've given the people more than enough ammunition to find out who the true Antichrist is. Our Christian brothers and sisters are waiting for the Antichrist to appear. And when the true Christ appears, they're going to be so confused, they're not going to know what to do.
Well, next week I'm going to show them who the Most High said the true Christ is. I'm going to bring that out next week. But thank you. I appreciate you calling.
Thank you.
Right now we're going to go to Brother Ishaya. We're going to go to Brother Ishaya out of Raleigh, North Carolina. And anybody want to come in with any comments? Brother Ishaya, how you doing?
Yes, still here listening. That's
yes,
a beautiful
sir.
program, all right, and awesome evidence to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt. If you don't go to no other scriptures, these scriptures prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that they have been against the Most High through their whole lives. And they learned this through the churches.
They learned it through the church. Everything that Yah says, Christianity is opposed to it.
Absolutely.
Everything. And they should know that Yah didn't set up a church on earth to oppose the house of Israel that has totally different laws and statutes than the house of Israel that he started. That common sense would tell them that. But these people, the same man who put them in the back of the bus is the same one who put them in the back of the book. The same one that made them the last hired and the first fired is the ones that stuck them in the back of the book, because if they start in the front of the book and reading and get an understanding, they would know that this stuff that they're taught in these Christian churches from Matthew to Revelation is opposed to the laws of the Most High.
Yeah.
Did you hear the program last week when Enrico and George was talking about, JC was talking about himself when he said it had been said? Let me get one of those verses for you, because that's in the book of Matthew, the 5th chapter. According to Matthew, the 5th chapter, I'm going to look at the verse called verse 31.
I'm with you.
All right, well, I'll let Brother Joel read that. What does that say in verse 31?
It hath been said, whosoever shall put away his wife, let him give her a writing of divorcement. But I say unto you, that whosoever shall put away his wife, saving for the cause of fornication, causes her to commit adultery.
In other words, do you understand what it's saying?
Yes.
They're saying that the only Christian woman that can get married is a woman get remarried is a woman that committed whoredom,
That's right.
a woman that committed adultery, because she's the only one that's entitled to be remarried. Any other woman is put apart from her husband for any other reason can never get married again. Isn't that actually dealing falsely with innocent women?
And it's totally against the Almighty's laws, as you point out, against the Most High. And even worse than that, it said if they get married, they're committing adultery.
Oh, man, isn't that something? Well, listen, hold up for a minute, because I got Brother George called in. He's not a minister, but he's one of the few people in our listening audience that got the nerve to even call in to try to defend this stuff. So I got to tip my hat to him when I see him call in, and got to acknowledge him. So you just wait there with me and stay on the line with me while we bring in Brother George. Brother George, how you doing?
Well, I respect that, Elesha.
Oh, fine.
Don't get offended now with the things I'm going to say.
No,
the greatest story on earth is the house of Israel's false teaching, which is everything you said tonight. Now, I'll back them all up. Let's start back with what you were saying on the Christ saying, you have heard it said of old, but I say to you that he's exalting himself. Again,
well, who is he talking to when he said...
He's comparing himself, who is Yahweh, with Moses. Are you saying Moses is greater than Yahweh?
Well, Moses didn't have no laws.
It was Moses he's referring to. Moses wrote to me, John 5:39. So you're all wrong on that.
So wait, let's stop for 1 minute. Let's stop. So when he said, you've heard it said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, you're saying that's Moses' law?
Yeah, it is Moses. It's the law of Moses.
Okay, so all right, 1 minute. So when you're saying that, when he said, you have heard it said, thou shalt not commit adultery, but you're saying that's Moses' law?
Moses is the one that wrote it down.
No.
It's God's law. All of it is God's
Oh, no, wait, that's that. Now we get into the truth. Let's take a time.
God just gave you the truth.
1 minute now. So you're confessing that these are God's laws?
They are, but they were administered by Moses.
All right, good enough. We're about it. We agree.
Greater is what he's saying.
We're agreeing with each other. So all of these are God's laws. So if they are God's laws, why would Christ talk against them?
He never talked against them. You're talking against Christ, and all he's doing is magnifying them. You said you can't magnify the law. It's perfect last week.
Well, then answer me this. How do you magnify a law when it says, you have heard it said by them of old, and you're saying these are God's laws, thou shalt not commit adultery, but I say unto you. That's not magnifying. He's magnifying himself.
What wasn't revealed in the letter of ministration.
No. Oh, in other words, so he's wiser than Yahweh.
He is Yahweh.
So, you just said those were Yahweh's laws.
They are Yahweh's laws. Jesus is the one that gave the law to Moses. He's Yahweh.
All right, now, then when he said, you have heard it said of them of old, an eye for an eye, you're saying those was his own laws?
Moses was the administrator of the laws that God gave Moses on Mount Sinai for 40 days. Where you been? Haven't you read the book of Deuteronomy?
Well, then who is this when he said, you have heard it said of them? Who is them?
The teachers of the law, Ezra, all of them, the Old Testament. What he's doing is showing you there's a new, greater administration of the same law. There's no change in the law.
Or it's not.
It couldn't be magnified. Read Isaiah 42:21 to your people.
It's not any change to the law when the law said thou shalt not commit adultery. But Christ says that, but I say unto you that whosoever look on a woman to lust after her has already committed adultery.
Absolutely. You were wrong on that last week.
All
that fellow
right,
that called in was right. You were wrong. Listen, he was right. The context proves lust in the evil context versus desire in a good context, and you couldn't understand that. I don't know how you could.
What does the word? Well, I looked up the word desire, George, and the word.
It means desire.
It means desire. That's what the word lust means, to desire.
The context
so how
is desire
is it
that's illegal versus a good desire.
Then show me in that context where it said it was illegal to lust after a woman.
You're lusting with a fornicative thought.
No, they didn't say that.
No.
What you were doing.
You don't have Christ in your heart. So
what do you think about it? I'm gonna let my friend talk to you a little bit too. I gotta guess.
Oh, hey, that other fellow that called in was a good